Hello. Today we're going to be walking you through all the steps necessary to install the Fidesic module into a Dynamics GP system. Now, the first thing that we need to do before we start the install is to fully shut down GP. So that means all workstations, if you have it running on the server, shut it down on the server and make sure to kick out all users of the system. If GP is open in any other place, it may cause problems with the install. So first step, most important step, make sure that everyone is completely out of GP. Once we've got everybody out of GP, all you're going to need to do is run your installer file. Please contact your Fidesic implementation manager to get the correct file version of this, as there are different versions for different versions of GP. So make sure that you have the version that matches your GP environment before you begin the install. To install the file, it's going to run just like pretty much any other file installer application, but just to make sure, always run as administrator. Even if you're logged in as the admin account, Windows permissions can be a little strange sometimes, so make sure to run as administrator when you open this file. Simply follow prompts. If your GP is within a different folder than the standard folder, browse to that folder and find where it's located. But if you're in the standard folder, you should be fine. And simply wait for it to complete. And you're finished with the first phase of the setup. Now, the second thing that we need you to do is open GP and log into each company database as SA. This creates our tables and in effect finalizes the implementation of, or the installation of our system. Again, when you're opening GP, make sure to run it as administrator just to assure that we can create the tables that we need. Once you're logged in, it will ask you to include new files, which you want to do. And it'll say you need to log in as SA, which is the truth. So we'll wait, and then we'll need to log into GP as our SA account. And we will need to do that on behalf of every company database that you guys have set up. So if you have 10 different companies, you will need to log into each company database with the SA account, and this will create our tables within GP. So the login might take a little bit since we're creating new tables to reference, but once we're logged in, if you needed to do another database, I recommend that you fully shut down GP in between logins, just to make sure that everything lines up as you need. So fully shut down GP, open it back up as administrator, log in as SA, and do that on behalf of all company databases. Once you've done that, step 2 is complete for the install. We'll move on to step 3, which is running our grant script with your SQL Server Management Studio. This file, again, will be provided to you by your Fidesic implementation manager, but it's as simple as opening it in SQL, picking your company database, and then executing this SQL query on your database. You should get completed successfully when done so. And just like login as SA, this needs to be done on all company databases. This will avoid a pop-up notification that for all users, it'll basically say you need to finish up your implementation of the Fidesic system. So these are the large initial steps to get set up within the system. Everything else is now going to be configuration within GP. So to configure in GP, there are a couple steps that you should follow. Again, run as administrator during these initial setup steps just to make sure that we have all the permissions we need. And you shouldn't be getting any pop-ups that relate to our system on login here. Now, the first thing that we're going to want to do is disable our trigger points for either AR, AP, or both. So if we go to Tools, Setup, Company, Fidesic Company Options, this will pop up some options that we have here. If we are installing for a payables system, we're going to want to disable receivables triggers. If we're installing a receivable system, we're going to want to disable the payables triggers. And if this is a test setup, so this is just a test company install, you're going to want to disable both these triggers to avoid errors on anyone. These permissions are on a company by company basis, so make sure to disable these triggers for each company, specifically how you would like it set up. So if you've got a test database with payables, you can leave the payables triggers on and then disable for all the production databases that you have. If you'd like to set up security permissions to our system, you can do so using the built-in GP configuration. So if we go to security tasks, we can create a Fidesic task within the system, and then you can name this whatever you would like. Fidesic makes the most sense. And then to enable our permissions, they'll be under e-invoice ePay. And then I would check all the series that you're using. So if you're using the purchasing, you're going to want to enable the purchasing side. If you're using the sales, you're going to want to enable the sales side. And you're going to need to do that for Windows reports, files, custom reports, and service enabled procedures. So make sure that all permissions are enabled. So if we go reports, purchasing, make sure that all permissions are enabled for each type of window for the ones that you're using. So you can select between purchasing and sales, but for all companies, you're going to want to do financial, system, company, and third party. So make sure that all is enabled on the task ID. And once you've got that task ID created, you can simply add that task to any role within the system that you need to make sure that those individual users will have access to the tasks that they need. To verify that the install has worked, easiest way is to open a batches window under purchasing, and then we should have our Get Fidesic Vouchers option enabled to the additional window, and you should be able to start testing the system. If you have any questions, contact your Fidesic implementation specialist, and thanks for watching.